Hey, how's it going? And today we're taking a quick look at the computes specifier. This is considered an exclusive effect. There's a number of these and I'm going to be going over each one. I'm just starting with computes. And if we read what it says this effect requires that the function has no side effects and is not guaranteed to complete. That seems like a pretty straightforward definition, but what exactly is a side effect? And it kind of opens up a rabbit hole of things, but it actually goes into the heart of what verse is trying to do and what verse is about. So this is all in the code right now. I'm just in Unreal Editor, and here I'm in Visual Studio. And you'll notice certain methods do have the compute specifier, and only the compute specifier. One thing all these have in common is that these are all mathematical functions. So they take something in, they do something to it, and they spit something out. But they don't call, you'll notice they're not calling necessarily anything out. They're just taking something in and putting something out, but they're not doing anything more than that. This is all just in code. So up here I just have a variable that I've created. I'm not going to compile this because I have errors in it. But let's just talk a little bit about what is a compute specifier. So it requires that the function has no side effects. It is not guaranteed to complete. We already read that. And the input should lead to the same outputs. So that's what it does. But what is a side effect? A side effect occurs when a function modifies some state outside of its scope. Now that's straight from the verse documentation. In my words, I'd say it occurs when you use or reference code outside of the function that might affect the operation of the function itself. So having no side effect is similar to the concept of a pure function in the Blueprint visual scripting language. The compute specifier is ideal for mathematical operations, self-contained, and insular or island-like. So I've written this one function up here called double, and it takes in an integer and outputs an integer. I wouldn't get an error except that I'm calling print. The problem with that, the reason I'm getting an error, is that the call method print is not allowed. It is outside of scope, unknown status, and possibly changeable. I guess one way to think of it is like you're in someone's house and you're asking them to do something, and then you say, well, let me call Bobby to help. And you're like, well, no, don't call Bobby. I don't know anything about Bobby and what Bobby's going to do. So that's a problem. I just want you to do this. I don't want you to bring in anybody else. It just means trouble, right? I don't know Bobby. I don't know what's going to happen with Bobby. So it means trouble. They don't want it to happen. Same thing here. So look at this one. Change number. I'm going to take my variable up here that's been established and set, and I just want to add 5 to it. Why can't I do that? Well, I can't do that because I'm calling again outside of the function. I'm referencing a variable that's outside of this. You can't do that. So calling or using my variable is a side effect. My variable state is unknown, outside of scope, and changeable. So I can't do that. Change number. Here I'm calling a function called getValue. Here can't do it again. I'm calling outside of this. It's got to be kept in-house. So I can take the value in and I can spit a value out, but it's all got to be in-house. Now here are ones where it works successfully. So I'm taking an integer in, I'm just doubling it, and I'm spitting it out. Not calling anything outside of myself. It's an internal operation. It can't get messed up, really. Here, I can do this here. All internal, no problems. I can take a number in, give it a new value, times it by itself. It doesn't matter because it's all internal. And again here, same thing. This is the same as this one actually. So if we just get rid of print up here, because we're not calling outside, you'll notice we don't get any errors up here. So it really kind of goes to the heart of, I guess, what verse is trying to do is keep a tight rein on everything to minimize runtime errors. So if you want to create a method and you want to make sure that it's all internal and not affected by any outside forces, then you'd want to use the compute specifier. And you'll see examples of it as you go through. So as you learn what the language means and what all these terms mean, it's kind of cool because you'll see computes now, hopefully, and you'll think, oh, that operation is all kept in-house. They don't refer out for anything. So anyway, take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.